I went on a 10-day Mediterranean cruise, the first one I've ever done. There's some things you need to know before you do this yourself. I wish I had known before I had actually done it, because it would have made the trip a heck of a lot more enjoyable. Now, I did make a point of carrying a very little camera gear with me because I knew it was going to be hiking and traveling and all over these different islands. So you have to be careful exactly what you're going to carry with you, because it could get cumbersome for you. So stick with me, and I'm going to talk to you about what my experiences were on my first ever cruise. I didn't know what to expect. I thought, hey, we'll get on this boat and we'll cruise around. We get off at each port and go visit some sites and then come back to the boat, etc. To start the journey, I left Dubai and went to Venice. Spent an extra day in Venice because I wanted to see Venice before we went on the cruise. So the first day was spent traveling all over Venice. Not just Venice, but went to two different islands, one being Murano Island and the second being Burano Island. Murano Island is known for its glass blowing. It's very famous all over the world. Murano Glass, I'm sure you've heard of it. We went on a tour of a glass blowing factory. Now, Murano isn't very big and there's not much else there. So it was a different experience. After that island, we proceeded on to a different island called Burano. Burano Island was a little more interesting. It was very colorful, very unique in itself. There's one thing you have to understand. When you travel in Venice, you travel by boat. That's it. There isn't cars or anything else to take you from one place to another. So you travel through the ocean. They have trails all set out, or what you would think are roads, mapped out in the water. And it's kind of unique. It's fun. I mean, the boat we were traveling on was horrendously loud if you were sitting inside, because right in the center of where you were sitting was the engine, of all things. Anyways, it was quite noisy. I'll put a link up here so you can check it out yourself. Go check it out, see what it was like. I'm telling you, I didn't do any special effects or try to do anything other than try to get rid of the noise from the video. It was really difficult, but it was a fun trip. It's an experience you have to take. We flew into Venice. We have enough luggage to take us on a 10-day trip, which we didn't pack very heavy, but we packed. And the hotel we went to, one thing you have to understand is Venice doesn't really have lifts or elevators, or at least we didn't see any. So we had to carry our bags up. And we stayed in the penthouse suite, which isn't what you would think is a penthouse suite. It was just the top floor. In fact, it was the attic of the building. So it was quite unique. You had this little porthole you can look out and you can see everything around you. This was the first part of the trip. My lack of understanding what Venice was all about, that there just wasn't anything but walking and boats. That's the only way you can get around. Now, we were traveling with a group of friends, quite a few people. I think there was 18 of us. It's not easy. It really isn't. So it was quite unique. So the first day, like I said, we went to Murano, and I was eyeing up this glass bowl I wanted to buy. So I was like, I want to buy this thing. I think it's pretty cool. Now remember, I'm on a 10-day cruise. This is the first day, and everything about Venice is walking. So the bowl is about 15 or 20 pounds. So it's not heavy, but it's not light. I could not talk the price of the bowl down very much. So I decided to opt out of getting it. Anyways, we further went on to Burano Island. Burano Island is known for its lace shop, or its lace that they put on dresses and gowns and stuff like that. We traveled back to Venice after the day. So we decided to go home to our hotel room and have a shower and clean up for dinner. And San Marco Square was completely empty when we went in there in the morning. It was beautiful. There was no one there. There was like 10 or 15 people. But it was so early that we sat down and had coffee and a croissant at a little restaurant or coffee shop in San Marco Square, and waited for the rest of our friends to get together and make their way down here because we were catching the boat to go to Murano. So it did start to get very busy. And I mean, it got really busy. It was really packed there, especially when we came back from our boat cruise. It was packed. It was a lot of people. There were bands playing. There was no seats at all you could see at any of the cafes. So it was quite a popular place. So we managed to walk back through all of the high-end expensive shops like Chanel and Louis Vuitton and Hermès. And we stopped in at Hermès, and well, what you do at Hermès, you shop. So my partner picked up a brand new purse from Hermès, which was quite surprising because usually you have to get on a waiting list or you have to request, and it takes time, but she managed to do it, which was great. So we did it. We went out for dinner, and to get to dinner, we had to walk 20 minutes to get to the restaurant, which is okay. We went to a restaurant by Rialto Bridge, the famous bridge where everybody wants to take a picture. In the evening, it is busy. It is so packed. And honestly, if you wanted to get an Instagram photo, it was very difficult. It was interesting to see anyways. I think I took a few photos, but I don't think I took any that were worthwhile showing, unfortunately. We were meeting our friends at a restaurant, and we were walking over the Rialto Bridge, and on the other side, what do I see? A glass shop, a Murano Glass shop, right there on the corner. I decided to take a look, and sure enough, they have a bull. We got to work out a deal on this, and we worked out a deal. We haggled the guy down a bit, and sure enough, the glass bull was from Murano, so it was guaranteed. He gave me the brochure and showed me the signature, and he wrapped it up for me. I said, look, I'm traveling for 10 days through 5 different countries. I need to be sure the thing's going to be safe and make it back to my home. He packaged it up perfectly for me with a handle on it and everything. It was perfect, and we went for dinner. We finished dinner, and it was just at dusk, so it was perfect timing to take photos and do some videos by the Rialto Bridge. We did a little bit, but there were so many people, so we walked home. Venice isn't full of lights everywhere. There's a few lights here and there, and some of the shops have some lights, but most of the trails and the sidewalks you walk down, the back lanes and stuff, it gets pretty dark. And in fact, it was very difficult for us near the end when we were getting close to the hotel. We didn't actually know which way to go or how we could get there. We made it there. It was quite an experience. There's a video here I'll show you. Next day. This is the day we had to pack up everything and head off to Ravenna. Ravenna is where the cruise ship was departing from. So we left the hotel and we got in the boat, and we started our boat taxi to the bus depot, which is some distance away. About 5 minutes into the trip, I was going, wait a sec, where's the bull? And sure enough, we left the bull package back at the hotel. So we had to turn the boat around and go back and pick up this package. That was like day 1 after having this bull and thinking, oh shoot, I've got 10 more days of this. And I thought it was going to be easier once we got on the ship. We bussed to Ravenna, to the cruise ship, and we entered onto the cruise ship and got a room and got settled and everything. It was quite nice. And then we found out that our first evening was going to be spent here in the city of Ravenna, and we weren't going to sail because they needed to pick up all of the passengers on the boat. We were in Ravenna for 2 days before we set sail. Ravenna is a small little city. We went to find some bubble tea. That video is here. Going on the cruise ship was a completely different experience for me. So remember, I've not done this before. It was okay. The room was okay. You have everything you want. The one thing I would say to you is if you're going to go on one of these cruises and you like good food and want to have some drinks with your food, upgrade your package so you get that included, because it makes all the difference in the world. The food especially. There are restaurants where it's self-serve. You just go in and you serve yourself and you can get whatever you want. It has a variety, so you're never going to go hungry. Trust me. That is crazy. Depending on the boat you take, the facilities may differ. our boat had a few swimming pools. One of them I loved, which was inside. It was a solarium type swimming pool, but it was a natural pool. It wasn't like a chlorinated pool. So that was my favorite place. I traveled around the boat. I checked out many different areas of the boat. You have a casino, you have art galleries. They try to sell you everything. They have trinket stores. You can buy just about anything you need there on the boat. It's going to cost you, but it's there. So don't worry. Don't overpack and don't bring too much with you because your room is tiny. There are as many activities on the boats, so you can do whatever you want on these boats. There's art galleries, they have art auctions, they have music nights, they have games to play. This particular boat had a theater, an outdoor theater on the back of the boat with lounge chairs and everything. It was kind of cool. Depending on the boat and the cruise line that you're going to go on will make a difference. Some boats have or cater a lot for children. I think this boat didn't really have anything for children, which was nice. So it was a more adult-oriented boat, or at least I didn't see any children running around, which was kind of great. Now, I mentioned about the package upgraded and your alcohol package. Now, at dinner time, you had a better selection of nicer meals if you had the better package. It was good. Honestly, it made a big difference. And every time you stop for a day in a port, you end up going out. And sometimes the food where you go may be really expensive. So you have to remember that breakfast is free. All your food is free on the boat. So you tend to get up in the morning and have breakfast and maybe grab a couple things to take with you in a bag and go off on your day. And then you come back for dinner and have dinner. So you never really need to go off and eat at any of the ports that you stop at. Our first port, or our second port, because we initiated from Ravenna, Italy, our second port was Croatia, Split, Croatia. Now, I didn't do any research. I was so busy before this whole trip, and I had no idea anything about any of the ports that we were going to except for Rhodes in Greece, Santorini in Greece, because I know Greece. I've been to Greece quite a bit. And every morning we got up, we had breakfast, and we ended up in a tour bus most of the day, driving around in traffic around the city. You go to some place, either a gallery or sightseeing through a castle or something, the ruins. That is what you're going to do. But the majority of the time is going to be spent sitting on a bus with a whole bunch of people traveling to that location and traveling back. It was a holiday. I was just going to relax and not worry about it. The most interesting place, I mean, we went to Split, and Split, we took the bus, the coach, to a gallery. The gallery was kind of cool. It was interesting to hear about it. We didn't want to spend the rest of the day walking around the ruins of Split, Croatia. So we went back to the boat and relaxed by the pool, which is great. I mean, that's what you can do. That's what it's for. I mean, you got drinks and you've got food and you've got the activities and the pools on the boat. You can really pick and choose which ports you want to get off and do something in. And maybe I should have thought about that more before we went on the cruise. So you head to the next destination. And the next destination for us was Dubrovnik, Croatia. And again, not knowing anything about Croatia, that video is right here. Dubrovnik, we decided not to go with the big tour bus. We hired a tuk-tuk to take us around to see some of the sights of the city, which was a little bit better, but we did spend majority of the day driving through traffic, driving through the city in a tuk-tuk. Okay? It's great. It's okay. We got to see some things, and it was very interesting to see some of the stuff in Dubrovnik. And Dubrovnik, the city center, the old city of Dubrovnik was the location for the film shoot for Game of Thrones. Had I known this before, maybe we would have gone and seen that, but we didn't find out till the end of our little trip. So we ended up going back to the boat again because we wanted to sit by the pool and enjoy relaxing. So day 2, we've seen 3 different cities now. Our next day was at sea, so we spent the whole day traveling. And it's fine, because you have all of the facilities to go and enjoy while you're on the boat. The next stop was Santorini. This was the favorite place that we all wanted to go and see. And Santorini was probably the most memorable part of the voyage. And that video is up here. Now, the most enjoyable part of the Santorini journey was the donkey ride up. I'm telling you, that was the funnest part of the whole trip. And you can see in this video, Santorini was a unique place. I mean, it's known for its whitewashed buildings and all the beautiful scenery. It was so full of tourists. I mean, it was jam-packed. There were so many people there. It was okay. It was a beautiful place. I'm glad that I got to see it. And then we went on to, the next stop was, I think, Rhodes. We did get off and we did tour around a bit, but it was rather small. There wasn't much to do. We only spent a few hours in Rhodes and again went back to the boat. That was kind of our comfort zone. We could go back there, eat, and do whatever we want and relax. And if you needed to be in air conditioning, you can be in air conditioning. Remember, this is May and it's very warm and humid in the Mediterranean. Next, we stopped in Turkey. And this port, I personally wasn't so excited to get off and see the ruins in Turkey. I think by this time I had had enough of it. So I opted to stay on board the boat and just relax and have a good, relaxing day. Our next stop was Mykonos in Greece. And Mykonos is a lovely little island. And I actually bought a bunch of sunglasses when I was there. I mean, I've been looking for Oliver People's sunglasses. And where do I find them? There was a shop there that sold them. So I stupidly or foolishly bought 3 pairs of them. It's a small island, or there's not a lot to see and do. Didn't spend a lot of time there. Preferred to jump back on the boat and do some quality time relaxing again. Then our trip ended in Athens. So we came into Athens in the morning, early morning. So remember, every time you go to sleep, the ship starts to sail and travels to the next destination. So while you're sleeping, that's when all the travel happens. So you wake up in a new port, usually every morning. There was a couple days of sea travel, but it was okay. Let me show you. This is the package with my bull. Now, this trip was quite some time ago, and I still haven't unpacked it to see if it's okay. I will do that in another video because I don't really have time in this video to do it. But it's traveled all the way across the Mediterranean, back to Dubai, and then back to Canada, where I am currently. So we'll see what happens. Maybe it's in one piece. I hope it is. My advice to you, if you're going on a cruise, choose well. Choose the trip very well. Choose the cruise ship because you want amenities on it that you're going to enjoy. And be prepared to not always do the 10-hour thing inside each port. Take some time, relax, make it enjoyable, and go see the important bits of the trip that you want to see. This is the first time I've done one of these style videos. I'll do more in the future, but this is basically about me, my life, and what I do after 50 years old. I can't sit down, I can't stay at home, I can't retire. I have to do something. I have to go out and be active. So do what you want to do in life and enjoy it, man, because it's only one life. There you got one life. Don't go through life wishing you had done something. If you want to do it, go out and do it. I hope to see you guys on the next video and enjoy. Take care, and I'll see you soon.